Hi, I'm Tom Barrett. Welcome to Barrett for Wisconsin headquarters, where we're sitting at the desk and talking on our first live web broadcast. This is a chance over the next half hour or so for us to have a conversation. Questions that have been submitted by you and that I'll discuss during the course of the next 15, 20, 25 minutes. What we have some questions that have been submitted prior to the beginning of this broadcast. And during this broadcast, we'll presumably also receive some questions. And I'll discuss some of those questions too, depending on the time that we have. But it's a good, beautiful, sunny afternoon here. The Badgers basketball team, men's basketball team, beat Illinois this afternoon, so they're doing great in the tournament. And with that very enthusiastic and optimistic start to this Sunday afternoon, what we'd like to do is start with our first question. And our first question comes from Karen. Karen asks, as mayor, what have you done to create jobs? Well, Karen, this is something that's been a priority for me since I became mayor 6 years ago. Creating jobs and public safety have been my two highest priorities as mayor. And let me take a couple minutes and just talk about what I have done as the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. When I came in 6 years ago, there was really not a coordinated effort here in southeastern Wisconsin on economic development. In fact, the history of this region was one where the city and the suburbs were oftentimes pitted against each other. And I thought that was counterproductive. And that feeling was based really on my years in Congress, because what I saw in Congress was I saw regions of this country, regions like Portland or Seattle or Denver, that seemed to be doing very, very well economically. And as a result of that, I thought, let's take a look at what they're doing. And each of those parts of the country, each of those metropolitan areas seemed to take much more of a regional approach than we did. And so I thought we've got to find ways to work more closely together here in southeastern Wisconsin. And the reason for that was because I sensed that companies, as they decided where to do business, really didn't care what side of a county road they were on or what county they were in. They just wanted to know that it was a place that was a good place for them to do business. So I reached out to the business community and I reached out to some business organizations, and we launched the Milwaukee 7, which is a consortium of 7 counties here in southeastern Wisconsin. And we set as our goal economic growth in southeastern Wisconsin. And I want to just take a couple minutes and talk about some of the victories that have been achieved through Milwaukee 7 just since last November. As you may recall, Midwest Airlines was purchased by Republic last year. And during the course of those negotiations, I had an opportunity to sit down with the CEO of Republic, who indicated to me that they were going to decide where to place some jobs. And we're not talking about 5, 10, 15 jobs. They were looking at places for hundreds and hundreds of jobs. Well, needless to say, I said that we wanted to be in the hunt, that Milwaukee County, southeastern Wisconsin, wanted to be in the hunt for these jobs. And through the Milwaukee 7, we worked with them. And it was interesting because this was a real-world competition. This was not one of these academic studies. This was a real-world competition that literally pitted Milwaukee, southeastern Wisconsin, against Indianapolis and Denver. Those were the 3 cities. And I will always remember an Indianapolis newspaper article that basically dismissed Wisconsin and said that this was clearly a competition between Indianapolis and Denver. Well, we were very proactive and very aggressive, and those, I think, are the 2 keys in all of this, is being proactive and being aggressive. And at the end of the day, the announcement was made that not only would we retain 800 jobs here in southeastern Wisconsin, but we'd have 800 jobs moved here. So that's 1,600 jobs right there, again, through the Milwaukee 7 and our efforts to work on a regional basis. More recently, just in the last month, we were able to announce that Ingeteam, a Spanish company, was going to locate its North American headquarters here in southeastern Wisconsin. And just last week, Talgo, another Spanish company, announced that it would do all of its train assembly for the United States right here in Wisconsin as well. So those are just 3 examples of the aggressive and proactive approach that I have taken as the mayor of Milwaukee. But there's actually even more than that. If you're to drive through Milwaukee, and if you can picture where Miller Park is, right there on I-94 as you come into the city of Milwaukee, to the area just east of there is the Menominee Valley. The Menominee Valley is an area of our city which for many, many years was literally abandoned. There were no companies there, and you needed an all-terrain vehicle to get from one end of the valley to the other end of the valley. Well, under my leadership, we very aggressively moved forward to put a major road through there, did some environmental cleanup, did a lot of environmental cleanup. This was the largest brownfield cleanup in the history of the state of Wisconsin. And now I'm proud to say that in the area just east of Miller Park, there are 7 businesses that are located there. Again, a couple thousand jobs as a result of that. There have been other parts of the city where we've been successful as well. Manpower downtown, during the course of my administration, moved its world headquarters into downtown Milwaukee. Bucyrus International added additional capacity in Milwaukee because of the working relationship we had with Bucyrus International. Direct Supply, a large number of employers have decided to come to the city because we are proactive and aggressive in seeking their attendance and their business right here in the city of Milwaukee. And it's all happened because we let them know that the city of Milwaukee is open for business. And that's the same attitude I want to take to all of the state of Wisconsin.